The home buying process is a bear to deal with. The financial stress alone can cripple you, let alone the searching, the planning, and all of the decisions that go into it. Home buying is a mega investment of time and finances. So, you need someone you can count on and that will treat your money like it's their own. Enter Kevin Krager. If you're looking to buy, to sell, or invest in a home in Central Florida, you need a realtor who not only knows the market, but one who has proven results. Kevin Krager with LPT Realty, one of the top 25 producing agents in Central Florida. Kevin takes great pride in customer care, clear communication, and treating your investment like his own. When it comes to real estate, experience matters. Trust Kevin Krager to move you right along. Call him today, 07-702-4635. Real estate made smart. Call Kevin today. What's up, Magic fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Orlando Magic HQ podcast, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network. We're your hosts, Al, myself, Anthony. Today is Friday, November 14th, and the Magic jumping straight into their next in-game tournament. Right after the Magic give such an amazing, beautiful beatdown on the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden. It's starting to look like the Magic are turning the page, or they're turning the curve. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about some of the games from this week, and then kind of talk about some things that's been going on with the Magic, some improvements that we've seen, some interesting topics and high storylines that have come out from this past week. So before we get into it, just a quick word from our sponsor, Underdog. It's that time of the year again. NFL is rolling and NBA is back. And our friends over at Underdog have you covered for all the action. If you're new to Underdog, now is the perfect time to check it out. Use code MAGICHQ and you'll get $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5 entry, win or lose. We recently partnered with Underdog, and trust me, it's the best offer they've ever dropped. You don't want to miss it. And real quick, this is how it works. You're just going to pick higher or lower on two or more player stats or projections, and then you're in the game with a shot to win up to 5,000 times your money. You can even mix across sports. So if you want to include NBA, NFL combo, and make your weekend entries a little more fun, play now in most states, including Florida now, California, and Texas. So remember, when you sign up, use code MAGICHQ to grab that $100 in bonus entry. Play responsibly, have fun, and let's make some winning entries together. Also, do not forget, if you haven't done so, to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us a comment. Brian, we got a lot of cool stuff going on right now, and there's enough information and content for everybody. On that note, Al, obviously big Magic win against Boston, 123-110. That was an NBA Cup game. Really, really big game for the Magic, taking down the Celtics and then being able to do that in the NBA Cup game with some extra points in there for us that should help us out later on in the tournament. Magic end up losing against Boston after that, 111-107. We end up beating Portland 115-112. Huge Bane game-winning shot. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. And then big Magic win against the Knicks, 124-107. ESPN game out. We finally won a nationally televised game in good fashion, man. Beautiful.
About damn time. My goodness.
Yeah.
It had been a while.
So the good news is big win. Paolo Banchero gets that W for his birthday. Unfortunately, he does leave early with a groin strain injury. So a lot happening, Al. Talk to me. How do you feel about this past week? Big games won. It looks like the Magic are starting to find their rhythm, and they're starting to hit their stride.
Yeah, man. I mean, they look good. They went 3-1 this past week. I think that would have been better than we projected, right? Thinking about how they were playing before this past week, it wasn't pretty. And if you listen to our last week's episode, we covered that in depth. The fact that we're struggling, who do we blame? It was a very negative episode because honestly, the Magic were not playing well. But
Deserved.
much better basketball this week. I mean, that win against Boston, beautiful on Friday night. They did a great job in that game. The win against the Knicks, I always love seeing the Magic beat down the Knicks, especially when they play at MSG. That was beautiful to see. And hey, by the way, without Paolo for most of the game, and we still handed them a beat down, that was amazing to see. Um, the only negative, of course, that Sunday night loss against the Boston Celtics. It felt like we had that game won. It felt like we were playing well. It was back and forth. But again, playing at home, we had beaten them on Friday. It felt like we had that game in our hands and we let it slip. I wish we had won that game. We would be on a winning streak at the moment here. What, 4 or 5 game winning streak?
Yep.
Instead, we're on a 2 game winning streak. We'll take it. And how can we not talk about, we will do this later on too, but how can we not talk about that game against Portland? Man, being there at the arena, I got to tell you, there was no energy. I even tweeted this, like that arena was quiet, nothing. It was a weird vibe to that game. I blamed it on it being on a Monday night. Like, hey, kids are got school tomorrow. They're not here. It's just a weird vibe all around. But that fourth quarter was crazy. The final 2 minutes of that game, the back and forth, the mistakes, Paolo missing 3 free throws. It was a wild sequence. And then for it to end the way that it did, with Bane hitting that game winning shot, it was special. So as a Magic fan, it was a amazing week when you look back to the way that we performed. Some tough opponents in there that were playing well. We found a way to win. Our defense seems to be back. That's exciting. But overall, man, you cannot complain. It was a nice week for the Magic, much better than I think I even expected. But what about you? What were your highlights and lowlights from this past week?
Yeah, so talking about the Blazers game, a little personal story for me. The first half, I was in my in-laws' house with the family and the kids. So I was watching the game on my phone. Second half, I was finally at home watching the game. That game stressed me out because towards the end, as things were getting really tight, the Magic, they were up by a good lead, and my internet goes out. And honestly, it's the Blazers. Internet went out. I was in no wanting to finish watching the game, but there was no rush. Like I'll figure the internet out. Went downstairs, started troubleshooting, still wasn't working. I was about to get on the phone with Spectrum. Like I was taking my sweet time, and as I take a look at my phone, I see that the score drastically changed and Portland starts catching up. So then I start getting into panic mode. Finally, get the game back on my phone because the internet still wasn't working, and as I'm going through Paolo Banchero, making errors, making up for it, and the Magic finally get in a position where, Bane hits the game-winning shot. Before I get to see Bane hit the game-winning shot, I get a notification that pops up saying "Game Winner, Desmond Bane, Orlando Magic." I
Ah,
appreciate you for ruining that for me. So I didn't get a chance to feel the same feeling that everyone felt because the surprise was ruined. Man, what an awesome way to end that game. It is twofold. I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy, but I hate the fact that that game winner came against the Portland Trailblazers because there's no way, shape, or form, if we are as serious as we think we should be, even if we're trying to get it figured out, there's no reason why the game should even end the way that it did against a team like the Portland Trailblazers. If this is against the Celtics, if it's against the Knicks, and this is the outcome, crazy next level. Not that I wasn't excited for the game winner. I'm happy that we still found a way to get it done. Just wish it wasn't against the Portland Trailblazers, but it is what it is. Big game at home, in the fashion that you win it. And from what I saw, it was Desmond Bane's first ever game winning shot of his professional career, which I thought was pretty dope. We were not the only team in the state of Florida that got a game-winning shot off. It was the first time in X amount of years that that's ever happened. So it was good time, good basketball for everyone in the state of Florida. But I was happy to see that the Magic got away with it. What were your thoughts on everyone's reaction? It kind of felt like everyone was obviously everyone's going to get into it because it's a game winning shot, but it was cool seeing Jalen Suggs involved and Mo Wagner, even though both of them were on the injury report and shouldn't be jumping around the way that they were. It was cool seeing them kind of jump around Desmond Bane like that, and kind of felt like it was really a welcome to Orlando moment for
For sure. And I mean, the joke afterwards, watching the video, was seeing Mo Wagner jump up and down, getting bumped by his teammates.
him.
And the image that came to mind was, wait, I thought Mosley said that he was not doing contact drills just yet. Well, he just
There's a
got
lot of
bumped.
contact, 1000%.
Yeah. But no, man, it was fun to see. I think we needed that. Again, let me start by saying, hated the way the game got there. Like, I was so pissed in the final minute of that game because how did we just give up a 12, 13-point lead and made so many mistakes? Like, it wasn't pretty, man, by any means. Like, if we had lost that game by one, the way that it seemed like it was going to be, it, we would have still been, I would have been pissed today still. Like, it was just an awful, awful way to end that game. But at the same time, something good came out of it. And that was the fact that like, Bane hit that game winner and what that may mean for the Magic down the road, right? Because again, it feels like after that game, Bane goes to New York, has another great game, shoots 3 for 6 from 3-point range, looks really confident. Like ESPN kept talking about it. Like that game winner seems to have sparked something in him. And it's true. He looked a lot more confident all of a sudden. So I think that was really his like welcome to Orlando moment. Like, hey, we need you. We brought you here for this reason. You executed, you delivered on your first try. Like that was a beautiful thing to see. But it's funny now, a personal story for me. So, like, when that whole thing went down, Paolo misses a third free throw in a row. They get the ball. I literally, I literally tell my wife, I need Suggs to come up with a steal or JI to get into the game, get a steal. It wasn't JI, it was Paolo. Timeout gets called. I'm telling her, give it to Bane. We're thinking it's going to go to France. It's going to go to Paolo. They're the stars, right? They're going to get their shot. But I'm like, if you're going to have a chance to win this game, give it to your best shooter. It's going to have to be a long range shot. Let's just let it fly. And bro, to see it actually go down and actually happen, that was so fun to see because again, number one, I want him to get that feeling, what we all saw. But number two, that to me is the right play in that moment. Paulo missed 3 free throws. No way he gets the ball, in my opinion, in that situation. He's in his own head at that moment. France had been struggling that game a little bit. So I'm like, give it a Bane, give it a shot. Worst case scenario, go to overtime. And the fact that he actually hit that game winner, man, it was a beautiful thing to see. So I think this is the start of a uptick for the Magic. Like, hey, we can do this again. Bane is now incorporated. He's now in Orlando. He had his welcome moment. I really think this is a moment that can help us turn it around. They've played better since then. They beat the Knicks. Great game in New York. They have some tough games coming up here next week, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But it was a great thing to see the crowd reaction. Everything was just perfect. The way that it ended that game. Again, hated the way that we got there, but I love the way that the game ended and what it created everywhere on Twitter, at the arena, the post game celebrations. Like it was just a great thing to see.
Yeah, see, I had a different perspective. Like, Paolo Banchero missed some really key free throw shots for us. Made some just really bad errors that you're just kind of questioning. Like, Paulo, what are you doing? Like, you expect more from Paolo Banchero because he's a hooper, right? He's your franchise corner. He's getting paid the most amount of money. Like, out of everyone, there has to be a level of responsibility that Paolo carries more than everyone else. And in my mind, it was Paulo made some errors, helped us, made some errors, and now live or die. You got to go with Paulo. Like in my mind, is Paulo needs to get the ball because he's your franchise guy, and you just have to live and die with him, right? You're hoping that 6'10", 250 tie ball game he makes some magic happen. No pun intended. You're hoping that he doesn't settle for a three. You're hoping that he uses his big frame and goes back to the free throw line to win the game. That's what I was hoping for. So when I saw that the ball ended up in Desmond Bane's hands, I was I don't want to say I was surprised by it because I saw the notification before I was surprised by it. But it was interesting to see that that's the direction that they went with. And, they did come out and say that the play was meant for Paolo Banchero. And Desmond Bane was just the one that was open. And that's just kind of the route that they went with. But man, it was a beautiful shot. You can tell that he shot it a little awkward. It wasn't his his regular jump form. It was like high arc, which was pretty crazy, and it was a beautiful shot, man. So a beautiful moment for the Magic, and yeah, it definitely seems like from that moment on, it's kind of turned around for us. And I think for shooters, man, for Desmond, in general, like he just needs that confidence booster, like to remind himself that he's that guy. Like this was a night that he didn't shoot all that great. So the fact that that one, went in for him is a reminder that shooter shoot, and he has to be the one that has confidence in his shot. And lucky for us, it worked out.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been a fan of Steph for such a long time, and he's had this cold stretches in his career. But one thing that Steph would not stop doing is shooting the ball, right? And Bane is on the same line. He's a great shooter, one of the best in the NBA. I live and die with Bane taking an open three all day long. I'm okay with that. In my mind, and I'm going to go back to this, he's not KCP. He's a scorer. Like this guy knows how to score the ball. Like that's what he's done his whole career in the NBA. It is not easy to average 20 points a game in the NBA. He's been doing that consistently. So when you see those shots, wide open that he's getting and he's missing them, my reaction is I'm okay with that. Keep taking them. It's been rough, but guess what? He's now up to what is it, 32, 33% from 3-point range? Just a week ago, he was at 25. So it's just a matter of time before we see Bane hitting 38, 39, 40, hopefully. And man, it's going to open up the game so much more for Paolo and France once they know we cannot leave that guy. He's no longer struggling from behind the arc. And
Yeah,
not for nothing, I knew Bane, but I didn't know that he was such a great driver. Like he's been doing an amazing job getting to the basket, which leads to playmaking. Like Wendell looks like a different
he's
player.
creative. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's creative and getting to the lane, which is great because it doesn't matter if he's shooting bad. He's still a threat from behind the three
Hmm.
point line. So that lane is so wide open for him, and that's kind of what you want because if you have a player that can be a threat behind the 3 point line, but he's also a threat to drive. That just opens all the playmaking up for everyone else. And this is somebody that when I say that he shot bad, he was 1 for 6 from the 3 point line. His only 3 point shot that he made was the game winner.
Yep.
I think about me. Obviously, I'm nowhere close to being a professional, nothing, right? But I think about when I'm playing basketball. If I'm having a bad shooting day, I'm just not shooting anymore. Like I'm finding a different way to score. So there's an element of you missing those shots where it does mess with you mentally, and it takes a big person that is confident in their shooting, like Desmond Bane, in that moment to say, I'm going to take this shot in that moment. So it was awesome to see. Magic just didn't shoot good that night. We shot 27% from three. He didn't have a good shooting night, but the way that game ended was beautiful, and it was well needed.
Yeah, now let me ask you about the New York game. So obviously we dominated that game, start to finish. Paulo leaves early with a groin strain, they're calling it. So he will miss tonight's game against the Nets. After that, day by day, we're gonna see what happens. So I don't think he'll miss more than I'm thinking 3 games. Let's see what happens here. But I'm going back to the Knicks game for a second. Huge game. I think it's the one game early in the season that I had circled. I'm like, that's one game that's gonna be a big test for us at MSG. Everyone predicted the Magic, the Cavs, the Knicks being top 3 in the East. We finally get to see one of those top contenders in the East. Let's see what we look like against them. And man, we looked incredible. The defense finally looked like it did last year. The defense looked like a top 3 NBA defense. Offensively, we scored over 120, which again, the Knicks are not an easy opponent. What were your takeaways from that game? What impressed you in that game? I think the obvious answer will be France, right? Like he dominated that game, which was great to see. But what other takeaways did you get from that game against the Knicks?
Yeah, Mass Franz, he's a he's a beast, man, and it's what you expect when you think about the inclusion of Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero. Like in your mind, on paper, you have confidence in the sense where if one of them go missing, the other one still has support with another elite player. So in this instance, Paolo Banchero goes out, he still gets the support of Desmond Bane. And Desmond Bane is a player that we know from Memphis that he has been able to step in and kind of carry the torch while John Morant has been gone. And I think that we got a chance to be able to see a glimpse of it. Where we're starting to see him kind of string these 20-point games together. He finished the game with 22 points, shooting 3 from 6, or he shot 50% from the 3 point line. So it's what you want from Desmond Bane. Can he continue to do that is the real question. But I think that outside of Franz, outside of Desmond Bane, if I can say the one thing that's really impressing me is just Anthony Black. Anthony Black went from his rookie season where he really didn't get a whole lot of minutes. Second season, still trying to really figure it out, and you're starting to see him really be a key part of this team, which I think is awesome. There's so many different ways that he can kind of be a mixed match for a lot of teams and a lot of these players, and you're starting to see it. So he dropped 17 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and he shot 3 for 5 from the 3 point line. His 3 point shooting has gotten a lot better. He's providing that production off the bench. And that's what we need, man. We can't just rely on our starting five. The bench unit needs to be able to provide and support, and Anthony Black is doing that.
Yeah, man, he did an amazing job, especially in the fourth quarter when the Knicks were coming back and trying to get back into the game. He did a little run by himself. I think he hit a three, then he hit a tough layup, and kind of calmed things down a little bit. And then Suggs hit another three later on that we needed badly at that time. But I'm gonna give a big shout out, man, to two people, different people. What you mentioned. Number one, Wendell Carter. Heading into the game, I was like, man, we're gonna play against Cat Robinson. That's a big lineup by the Knicks. How's Wendell gonna fare against those guys? And man, when Wendell did a great job. Not only did he play solid defense, grab some big rebounds, offensively, he looks a lot more comfortable out there. He is hitting threes at a high clip. Right now, he is actually leading the Magic, 3 point shooting wise, 45% from 3 point range. That's 20% higher than what he shot last year. That's incredible. But number two, mid range. Like he is comfortably getting the ball and just pulling up those little mid range shots that he used to do a lot his first few years in Orlando. And for some reason, he went away from that most recently. But he is looking comfortable offensively. So big shout out to Wendell. And then J.I. He is back in the rotation. He is making a difference. Unfortunately, offensively, it is ugly. We know that. Those corner threes, he's going to make 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4. Some of them hit the side of the backboard. I don't know what's going on with J.I. and his offense, but that's okay. If he can give us what he's been giving us lately, which is 15 minutes, and it's solid defense, rebounding, shot blocking, getting some easy steals, that's a game changer for us and for our bench. So those two guys to me impressed me a lot in their game against the Knicks. Again, it's a big game. Everyone needs to contribute. And those two guys showed up. I don't think many of us had them in our, scouting report as guys that were going to impact the game very much, but they went in and made a big difference in the game. But huge win, man. It's probably the team that I enjoy beating the most. It's Boston, the Knicks, and the Lakers for me. So whenever we beat one of those guys, it's always a good night and makes waking up and going to work the next day so much better.
Yeah, so this puts the Magic back at 500. Magic are 6-6. It puts us 10th in the East, but only one game back of the fifth seed. So the Magic are right there. As of right now, from a points per games perspective, we're 17th in the NBA, averaging about 116.6. There used to be a time in place where we were barely scoring 100 points a game. So this is huge improvements. Magic currently holding the 18th spot in offensive rating. And the Magic are starting to get it together, man. We're still struggling in the 3-point department, 29th in the NBA, 27th in 3-point attempts. But we are first in the NBA in free throws made and free throws attempts. So there are some highlights that you can kind of hang your hat on and celebrate. Just the Magic need to be more consistent. There's been too many times, from not to point anyone out, but Paolo Banchero, where we've been missing free throws. And there's too much of that happening where it's starting to become really a trend that I would kind of keep an eye on. So Magic got to do a better job at just taking advantage. We're a team that gets to the line often. We got to maximize those opportunities again, because it's those little moments that can really mess it up for us where, those points hold value and they go a long way for us.
Yeah, man, it's impressive again. What week, one solid week of basketball can do for you. All of a sudden, the
Changes,
Magic
yeah.
win a few games, and just to kind of give you some perspective, We are only 4 games back off the Pistons, who have came out really hot this year, but when you look at the Knicks, Philly, and Cleveland, that is your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th seed at the moment. The Magic are just 1.5 games behind them at the moment. So a couple of more wins here and there. The Knicks lose one, or the Cavs lose one, a few more. We're right there. We're back in the 4-3-2 seeds that we expected to be heading into the year. So we got to be patient. I said it last week in our episode. Let's give this team some time. Let's give them a solid 20, 25 games to get them together. I think the first week of basketball that we saw, you could see Bane was kind of lost defensively. He didn't know where to be so much in the rotations. That creates, that's a mess. If one guy's lost out there, that's an easy layup for another team. It's an easy 3-pointer for another team. That's gotten cleaned up big time in the last week. To give you some perspective, the Magic are currently defensive rating wise 113.5. That is 13th in the NBA. So they're creeping up. Like that they have to be top 10, and they're getting there. Um, and to your, like you mentioned earlier, offensive rating for the Magic 114.8. That's 18th in the NBA. Hey, we finally have a top 20 offense, which we haven't had in years. And the pace, I don't know about you, but it doesn't feel as forced anymore. It felt like the first week they were trying to run every single possession. Now it feels like, hey, we got a turnover, we got a steal, we got a block, we're gonna run. But otherwise, we're okay slowing it down. And I think that's been a big cleanup by Mosley and his staff, because it's no longer feeling like it's so rushed and so kind of disorganized, which again, it's gonna happen with time. But I'm a believer in this team, man. I think that they need some time. They're figuring it out. And I think a month from now, let's call it December 15th, they will look even better by then. And they will keep on playing better and better as the year goes on. We just got to be patient. It's not easy to see us go on a 2-game, 3-game losing streak at times, but it's the NBA, man. It's a long season. It's going to happen.
Yeah, and listen, winning cures all. I want to say that this week there was a rumor. We don't know exactly how accurate this rumor is, because none of the Magic outlet or core Magic sources have confirmed or believe that this is true. But still, a concern to where there might be some legs to it, where there is the report stating that there is a growing disconnect between Paolo Banchero and Magic head coach Jamal Mosley. We've seen the comments from Paolo Banchero's mom last year, where it was questioning some of the decision making that Jamal Mosley has made, and then just kind of the body language that we've seen from Paolo Banchero. So again, winning cures all, but do you believe that there's any legs? Like, is there anything that you've seen that leads you to believe that, you know what, there might be something here?
I mean, there's been signs, right? Even I think last week after a loss, Mosley was very snappy and very like in a bad attitude, which is very unlike him. Right after him, Paulo came up and they asked him a question about the fast paced offense and what is his thoughts on it. I forgot the exact question that was asked, but his reaction was like, "I don't know how to answer that," and it kind of left a weird taste in my mouth. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're an NBA player, you play for this team. What are your thoughts on the offense? It's a simple question, right? So it just kind of feels like, yeah, there's been some things going back to last year. His mom tweeted a cryptic tweet. We were all wondering what the whole thing meant at the time. They looked really, really off January, early February of last year before the All-Star break. We all saw it. We were like, what is going on with this team? But to your point, winning cures everything. All of a sudden, they started winning some games. Most recently, 5-2 in their last 7, and things have improved a little bit. But I think when things go south, they quickly go south with Paolo and mostly a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised, man. It's unfortunately, but in the NBA, it's a players' league. And if there is anything in the locker room going on where Paolo's saying, I want this to happen this way, and mostly saying, I'm the coach, you got to play my style, that's all it takes for there to be a little bit of a difference in the locker room, and Paolo now to kind of pout a little bit, look a little bit upset, mostly to look upset. It's unfortunate in the NBA, in today's NBA, that's the way that it goes. So I don't think these are real rumors. Like, I don't think Moses is going to get fired during the season, if you ask me. Now, do the Magic go 2-8 in their next 10 games and all of a sudden the front office has to decide what to do? Maybe. But I don't think it will be because of Apollo and Mosley situation. I don't believe that. But Yeah, there's been some signs. I hope it's not true because I do want these guys to succeed together. They've gone through so much through the rebuild, finally making it to the playoffs, and now finally being contenders. I would hate to see Mosley leave this job and not get it done. I think he has the potential to get it done, but he's got to improve, man. The rotations, not calling timeouts when teams go on big runs. Again, the offense felt really forced on the team kind of early on. He's got to clean up some things. So he's not perfect. But at the same time, man, Paolo, you're the star. You're getting paid the big bucks. You're the franchise, you're the face. Kids are looking up to you in the stands. We are all looking up to you from the stands or from TV. And to see you, your head down, kind of with this I don't care attitude, I got to tell you, as a fan, you don't want to see that. So they both have to grow up a little bit and just say, hey, we're here to win some games. Let's focus on that and go from there.
You and I, we've talked about it. When it comes to Paolo Banchero, like normally a team would, tailor make their offense according to their best player. Paolo Banchero is not the running and gunning type. Does he do it? Has he shown flashes of it? Sure, but he's not Darian Fox. He's not prime Russell Westbrook. He does. He's not Tyrese Maxey. He doesn't lead with speed. He leads with his size and his framework. So when he's having bad games, when the teams aren't playing good, because even with Paolo, when we've seen him play, even when he's statistically putting up points and getting rebounds, like you still feel like he had a bad game. So that is definitely going to put some weight on him and the team because he's our cornerstone. Like if he doesn't play well, then it's going to be, you can kind of bet your money that the team isn't going to play well. So it's going to take some time for them to figure it out. Luckily, it's starting to see that way. Now it's going to be interesting to see how this team does look like without Paolo Banchero for a couple games, and the team kind of being forced to make another adjustment on the fly. But I think we're at a point now where we can kind of put the worrying at ease. Us being at 500 is an awesome look. We play against the Brooklyn Nets that you're expecting on paper that the Magic are going to take that win, especially for a tournament game, and finally be up in the above 500 for the first time this season.
Yeah, man, it's a big game on Friday. On paper, it looks super easy, but again, not having Paolo's going to hurt, right? How do they adjust? Who do they put inside the lineup? So they have to figure that out, but they have to win that game on Friday night. You got to get to above 500 at this point in the season because after that, it's a rough week coming up. You got Houston on the road on Sunday. You got the Warriors coming to town on Tuesday. And then the Clippers, who have started really poorly this season. So I don't know if they're going to be the good Clippers or the bad Clippers that we see on Thursday night. But either way, it's a big week for the Magic coming up here. Some big games at home. Um, so yeah, we got to show up. Let me ask you though, who do you think the Magic put in the starting lineup with Paolo missing at least the Nets game? Not sure about the rest, but tonight at least, who should start for the Magic in place of Paolo?
Oh man, that's a good question. It it depends on. I guess you can kind of go two ways with it. Could you go the Jonathan Isaac route? Maybe I think that would probably be the quickest, easy fix where you don't have to move around too many different things. I would like to see Tristan da Silva in that lineup. Maybe you move Franz down, put the Tristan in a small three, and then you got Franz as just being your big four. I think that's part of the benefit of having Franz Wagner being 6'10", that you can kind of interchange that way. If I'm a betting man, I would probably say Tristan da Silva, but I can definitely see Jonathan Isaac being in that spot just to kind of not mess with the lineup too much.
So my thinking is we've seen it plenty of times in the past where Mosley does not like to, mess around with his bench rotations too much. Um, so let me ask you this. What if you need offense, right? You're losing offense with Paolo. The defense, when you have Suggs, Payne, Franz, Wendell, pretty solid. Do you start in his place someone like Jay Howard, who is just a threat offensively? It's a three-point shooter. You put him at the three. So you would have Suggs, Bain, Howard, Franz, Wendell. Or somebody on our group chat today mentioned, do you start AB and then kind of go small in a way, and then you kind of put France at the four in that situation once again. Out of those two ideas, which one do you like better?
I love that you keep pushing this Jet Howard agenda. Like I love that you haven't lost hope. Jet Howard is not starting. It's just to get that option. It's just not happening. I I I want it to happen for you. I root for Jay Howard for you specifically. It's just not happening. I can see Anthony Black, for sure. And it's crazy because you mentioned small ball and Jay Howard, excuse me, Anthony Black is still a big body that's out there. Still 6 foot
Mhm.
7. He's still there's still size there. And Tristan De Silva, 6 foot 8, 6 foot 9. There's still a lot of size there. So that's the strength of the Orlando Magic is the fact that you have so many versatile players that can play multiple different positions. So I think that it's going to be a mix between Anthony Black, Jonathan Isaac, Tristan De Silva. If I'm a betting man, my money would be on Tristan.
Yeah, the only reason why I bring up Jay Howard is because I think he's playing the role of Caleb Houston this year, where it's like you're not in the rotation necessarily, but if someone goes down, you're that next man up. We've seen it when like Suggs goes down and he's not playing on back to backs, he gets some minutes there. So it really got me wondering, like, wait, now that we actually have an injury, like who do you put up? Who do you call up to the starting lineup? It would have been Caleb Houston in the past. Is that Jay Howard now, or is that Tristan? Who again, he's earned it. Let me be honest, but if you put him there, the bench scoring would go down drastically. I wouldn't be surprised even if a guy like Noah Pinda gets the call and just goes, hey, go out there, grab rebounds, play defense, and get some easy baskets for us. So it'll be interesting to see how kind of Mosley handles it. Now, keep in mind that Nets do like to play small, so that will be a factor as well. I think their four is who's their four right now? Is it Porter Jr.? I think so.
Michael Porter, I think Cam Thomas,
I think
and
he's hurt. Cam Thomas is hurt.
is he?
So
Yeah.
if you only have Porter to worry about the four, again, France is a perfect matchup there. JI could potentially play there as well. So we'll see. So I think the good thing is, man, I think Yadi said this in our group chat today. What a relief it is to have options, like actually legitimate options you can count on. Like, hey, you have guys that can play in the NBA. Whereas years ago, that would have been like, hey, who do we put in there? Trevelin Queen? Do we put some G Leaguer? Like, we actually have guys now that deserve to play there. Mind you, Trevelin Queen did a great job for us when he played for us. But we actually have a good rotation now of guys that can step in and help us out. So that's the blessing in all this. Paolo goes down, we're not worried. We know we got Franz, we got Suggs, we got Bane. Wendell's playing well. We'll be okay.
Next man up, and that's a great thing. And it can happen either way, because if you look at something were to happen to Franz or to Desmond Bane, Jalen Suggs, you're hoping that you have people that can kind of step in and kind of keep the ship afloat. So Magic, Brooklyn, awesome opportunity to get another tournament win under the belt and get above the 500 mark. On that note, it is a wrap. I appreciate everyone for listening, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.